This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup on the island of Cuba.
The news broke last Friday that IRS agents had applied extra scrutiny to groups with Tea Party or Patriot in their names when they applied for tax-exempt status. The head of that IRS division apologized on Friday. Lois Lerner said it took place during the 2012 campaign, and she blamed low-level officials in the agency's Cincinnati office, which handled the applications. But additional reports over the weekend said Lerner herself was informed of the targeting as early as 2011. Other reports claim that the IRS also zeroed in on groups that focused on government spending or educating Americans about the U.S. Constitution.
Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Does this pistol fire the dart?
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman, and a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person. So when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy?
Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was him.
When the American people find out how their government has secretly interpreted the Patriot Act, they are going to be stunned and they are going to be angry.
Director Clapper, does the NSA collect data on hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
New revelations that the NSA
Word broke. Edward Snowden revealed classified documents.
Their objective: use Facebook, Google, and Skype to invade conversations without warrants and without accountability.
Nobody is listening to your telephone calls.
Forget about civil liberties, the First and Fourth Amendments.
I welcome this debate.
Trillions of calls makes the haystack so big they can't find the needle.
Collect it all, know it all, exploit it all.
Do we oppose the collection of every American's phone record?
5 years ago, 6 years ago, we might not have been having this discussion.
Some are tracking love interests.
Why would intelligence agencies keep track of porn and exploit and undermine reputations?
Quote, almost Orwellian.
How many members of Congress actually knew?
Seriously, that thing they said they're not doing,
they're totally doing.
We understand what you're saying. A ton of cocaine was smuggled into the United States of America by the Venezuelan National Guard?
Well,
in cooperation with the CIA?
That's exactly what appears to have happened. If this has not been approved by DEA or an appropriate law enforcement authority in the United States, then it's illegal. It's called drug trafficking. It's called drug smuggling.
Judge Bonner says he came to that conclusion after a 2-year secret investigation conducted by the DEA's Office of Professional Responsibility in cooperation with the CIA's own Inspector General.
Okay, fine. Thank you. You'll be next.
Mr. Deutsch, you and the DEA's former director had a conflict and he resigned. What happened to that ton of cocaine that you were supposed to be watching coming from Bogota, Colombia?
I don't know what you're referring to.
There was a conflict between the DEA and the CIA, whereas you guys were watching a ton of cocaine flying out of Bogota, Colombia for a sting operation. The director of the CIA didn't agree on your tactics and you superseded him and went over and he resigned. The former, I don't know his name, but the former DEA director, the one that just resigned because you wouldn't give him the information on the ton of cocaine that you were supposed to be watching coming from Bogota, Colombia. Whatever happened to the ton of cocaine?
I don't know the case you're referring to. I just don't know the case.